Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. One of my goals for this year is to get out and about in the world more and do more exploring, especially since the pandemic. I've just been feeling so stir crazy and wanting to just get out and adventure. After spending the entire summer crossing items off my bookish bucket list, this is my list of the top 10 bookish adventures to have in the Boston area. Harvard Independent Bookstore. I like this shop because it's operated independently of Harvard and they have a huge selection of both used and new books. They really had everything from contemporary bestsellers to super niche nonfiction. The Harvard bookshop is actually within walking distance of Harvard University and it's very close to the Harvard Co-op. If you're looking specifically to get Harvard merchandise like sweaters and hoodies and t-shirts, I would recommend visiting the Harvard Independent Bookstore, then walking over to the Harvard Co-op and then going and doing a little walking tour of Harvard campus, if that's what you're into. Next up on the bookish bucket list, this one was highly recommended, is the Boston Athenaeum. I think that I might be pronouncing that incorrectly. Athenaeum? I'm honestly not sure. So the Boston Athenaeum describes itself online as a member-supported library, museum, and cultural center. This particular location, I will say, gave off a little more pretentious vibes than some of the other bookish places that I visited in Boston. Like I did have one kind of prickly interaction with one of the employees here. However, the Boston Athenaeum is one of the oldest private libraries in the United States, and it's actually a membership library. So a day pass to visit is $40, which sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money, but that gives you a pass to visit the library for the entire day. So what I'd recommend if you wanted to visit the Boston Athenaeum is to sort of designate an entire day to spend doing work from home or reading or catching up on emails or whatever it is that you need to do. There were lots of very private working or studying or reading spaces within the library, and there are multiple different floors that you can explore if you want to see the entire space. Also, the amenities included were free Wi-Fi, there was a little kitchen area, and there was also some quiet areas where you could do video calls and do sort of that type of work there as well. I do think overall it was worth the splurge, at least to do once in your life and have the experience, because it was just honestly gorgeous. If you're more of an Instagram girl and you're looking for a great place to have a photo op bookish experience, I would definitely recommend visiting Beacon Hill Books and Cafe. It's located right on Beacon Hill, which is so cute and walkable. So if you're wanting to just do some window shopping and vibe on the streets of Boston, this is a great area to get that really historical red brick feeling. They also have a restaurant in the basement. I got to their restaurant too late to order food, but I was able to order a hot chocolate and it was delicious. Also, if you're a Harry Potter fan, I will say that Beacon Street in Boston is pretty similar to Diagon Alley. Definitely a lot of the same vibes going on. Okay, the Gibson House Museum is definitely my favorite hidden gem in Boston. I found this one while scrolling through a Harry Potter itinerary because the Gibson House reminds me so much of Grimmauld Place once you're inside. So if you're a Noble House of Black stan or you're into Harry Potter, definitely put the Gibson House on the top of your Boston itinerary. The way that it works is you can do guided tours designated at different times. You can buy tickets online. It only costs $12 for an adult, $10 for a student, I believe, and even less for children. And they have a bunch of different types of tours that you can choose from. So I chose one that got a little bit into the life of the Gibson family. They also have Little Women specific tours. next on the list is Trident, Booksellers, and Cafe. I loved this bookstore so much that I actually went back twice. They have 2 floors of restaurant space and quite a bit of seating, so it would be ideal if you have a larger group, like you're trying to go with brunch with your girlfriends, or if you have a family that you're visiting with. They also have a really big YA and fantasy section, which I really appreciate because you know me, I love some YA fantasy. I got their eggs Benedict and they had quite hefty portion sizes. So if you like a lot of food, I would definitely recommend Trident, Booksellers, and Cafe. Okay, next on the list is Brookline Booksmith. The location of this shop is so cute because it's kind of tucked behind this little quasi Tudor style suburban castle type vibe. Out of every store that I went to in Boston, I think that this bookstore had the biggest selection. This place was seriously massive and they had a ton of kind of cute home decor. This place isn't a cafe, but they did have a ton of other merchandise. They had clothing, they had drinks, they had a ton of stuff for sale. Also, since parking in Boston can be really impossible, I would actually recommend parking at the Trader Joe's parking lot, which is just kind of across the street in Kitty Corner. I parked at Trader Joe's, I got myself a little picnic, then I walked over to the Brookline Booksmith, got a book, and then walked over to the park. And it was like the perfect itinerary for a little day in Boston. Single Boston itinerary that I looked at had the Boston Library basically at the top of the list. And after having been there, I see why. My jaw literally dropped when I walked into the main marble staircase. It is drop dead gorgeous inside. If you're gonna be visiting Boston, I would definitely recommend scheduling probably a few hours to explore the Boston Library. It's nice because it's very centrally located downtown, so you can go visit the library, you can go walk around the Boston Public Park, you can go walk over by the Massachusetts State House, and then you're also pretty close to the Boston Athenaeum if you want to sort of concentrate them and do an itinerary where you do a bunch of things in downtown Boston on the same day. Next on the itinerary is the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. I personally found the layout of the museum to be a little bit claustrophobic. I felt like the furniture was kind of crammed close together. However, there is a ton of really cool European art and a ton of stuff from the medieval and Renaissance period. So if art is your jam, be sure to visit the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. I didn't eat food there, but there was a really cute restaurant located at the museum as well. So if you were planning an itinerary, you could eat there on the same day that you spend the morning or the afternoon just exploring the museum. Boston College. This was such a fun little surprise in my itinerary. I was actually driving past Boston College and saw the buildings from a distance. So I pulled over and parked and poked my head inside the library, and there was a security guard there. And I started talking to the security guard and he goes, well, do you want to go to our Hogwarts room? And I was like, yes, I would like to go to your Hogwarts room. So he gives me the instructions and I follow his instructions back to the library, and it is just drop dead gorgeous. There were quite a few spaces at the Boston College campus that were open to the public, and I happened to be at the same time that a bunch of freshmen were walking through and doing like an orientation tour. Anyway, I'd recommend go explore all the campus. There were parts of it that felt straight out of a Harry Potter movie. Chef's kiss. Boston College really made all my Harry Potter dreams come true. And then you guys know I had to include something for the Harry Potter stands. I was walking down the street and stumbled onto this store. It's called the Fairy Shop. It's just a little teeny tiny little shoebox store, and it's absolutely adorable. Any Harry Potter fan would just be major heart eyes over this place. And the owner was the cutest, sweetest guy ever. I really wanted to support him. Please be sure to check out the Fairy Shop if you're in Boston. Okay guys, that's it. Those are my top 10 bookish adventures to have in Boston. Let me know if you have any other recommendations that I should hit while I'm in the New England area. If you like this video and you like other bookish content, please like and subscribe, and let me know what kind of content you guys want to see in the future.